What to do, Durag Nation? Marvel Rivals just dropped a brand new update to their PvE mode, Blood Hunt, increasing the max nightmare level to 200 and buffing all the heroes. And it seems like they may have accidentally broken Thor, who has now totally taken over the leaderboards. They definitely broke Squirrel Girl too, but in a different way. She crashes the game now whenever you play her new build. But Thor is broken because he just does disgusting amounts of damage even if you sit AFK. You could do something like this before the patch, but you needed the perfect build to make this playstyle work, and it could be tough to play against some bosses. Now, even if your gear is bad and low level, as long as you have the right things equipped, you just delete everything. So today I'll break down everything you need to dominate the PvE mode and carry all your friends to max level. First, Hawk smash that hype button to share the guide with other Rivals players, and let's get it. Starting with the skills, this is the awakening version of Thor, so you will only be spending points on the blue side and of course the purple tree, which is also very important, so copy this exactly so you don't mess up the build. You're going to put 5 points into damage bonus, 1 into flat health, 5 into output amplification, 1 into armor, and 5 into critical damage. Next, you're going to put 1 into block rate and select the chain bolt skill, and then choose primary attack speed. In the next section, you want 1 point into flat health, 5 into critical hit rate, 1 point into block mitigation, but do not choose spinning hammer. You want to keep hammer throw because when your awakening runs out, you want to be able to throw your hammer into the enemy to get back the Thor force you need to awaken again. Then you put 5 into output amplification, 1 into percentage max health, and then you're going to choose ability damage. Next, you put 1 point into dodge rate and choose concussion cell so you can stun enemies who rush you after your awakening runs out. Now you're putting 1 point into everything else and choosing thunderclap surge to launch enemies into the air when you use your ultimate. You'll almost never use this, but if you're in a tough spot and need to escape, this is much more useful to avoid mobs. And then you're going to choose critical damage instead of precision damage. Some say precision damage is best, but in my experience, you get way more value investing in crit instead, and the top Thor builds in the world currently agree. Now for Thor's specific skills, you're maxing out Immortal Rune, Enchanted Fury, and Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder was useless before, but now got buffed in the new patch. Next, you're going to pick Endless Current and then max out Lightning Domain and High Voltage Field. This will all contribute to allowing Thor to delete enemies from the other side of the map, even if you're not directly attacking. Next, you're picking Thunder Havoc, maxing out High Speed Shock, skipping Ultimate Storm, and going to Cloud Piercing Thunder. The way you're going to play this build is either sitting AFK or holding your primary while in Awakening to melt everything. You only need to really move around against elite enemies and bosses because Thor is a bit of a glass cannon, especially if you don't have good armor. Speaking of, let's move on to the gear. Don't worry about getting the exact same pieces, that's basically impossible. Gear drops in general are pretty terrible in this mode, no matter how much you buff your drop rate with Arcana or what nightmare level you play on. So just focus on getting gear with the correct stats and skills on it rather than worrying about the perfect roll, because you won't need it to clear Nightmare 200. If you're struggling to find the right gear, stop and farm on a Nightmare difficulty that you can clear easily without worrying about going down. At least Nightmare 100 once you hit level 60. You want to aim to have at least 500% total bonus damage, total output boost, and boss damage. After that, you want as much critical hit rate and critical damage as possible. Ideally, you'd have over 60% critical hit rate and 4,000 critical hit damage. Don't worry about anything else. Those are the most important stats that you need to deal the most damage. Most of my gear is terrible, but I have the stats and perks I want, so I was able to clear everything. You want to make sure your weapon, accessory, and exclusive all include high speed shock enhancement, high voltage enhancement, and lightning domain enhancement. These are a requirement to get the most out of this build. As a bonus, you can also get rune onslaught enhancement to increase attack speed, rolling thunder enhancement, and immortal rune enhancement to increase the length of the awakening rune duration. But the first 3 are the priority. The rest of the perks don't matter. For your armor, you want a combination of health percentage, and extra healing rune charge slots. For all skills, you want to aim for an A or S rating, but for armor, you definitely need at least an S or A on each health perk. You need as much health and healing as possible on this build because Thor's abilities don't include self-healing or damage reduction like Blade, Squirrel Girl, or Jeff. That's the build. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or concerns. And if you're hyped for more superhero PvE content, there are 15 superhero games we could be getting new updates on over the course of the next week as part of Summer Game Fest season, which includes the PlayStation State of Play and Xbox Showcase. Click the video on screen to learn more. And a huge shout out to everyone supporting me on Patreon. Join for free so you never miss an update.